Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Masked Mayhem 2020 tournament. I am your play-by-play caster, Liam, joined by always as by Max. How are you doing, Max?
I'm good. Just got out of the script myself. Ready
How'd
to
that
cast
go?
some Overwatch. Actually went pretty well.
That's good.
Our Sombra may or may not have EMP'd instead of translocating while stuck with a pulse bomb.
Well, win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have a great game for you tonight. We're seeing Boys to Men going against the Green Hills of Stranglethorn, and I think we're going to abbreviate that to Green Hills mid-cast. So excited for this. We've been watching Boys to Men play all season. We've become very good friends with the team, and I haven't seen Green Hills play, I don't think, but I am excited to see what they have. And of course, this is our first round of our double elimination playoffs. So whoever loses here today will be going into the losers bracket to face off against one of the other people who lose. So we'll see how that goes. We have a lot of teams going for the gold right now, and we're gonna see who comes out as early favorites here. And actually, we have three teams going up against each other. Or sorry, 3 matches, 6 teams going up against each other tonight. So very interesting. This is the first map in all of our games tonight. We're going to be in Mecha Base. Mecha Base, obviously good at the indoors style of combats. Probably going to see a lot of Reinhardt, Zarya play. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting map. You have you have high ground or run point, so you can still get away with some more like poke comps. Like you've seen Widow played, you can see Ashe, those kind of things. Even though the indoor tight doors still favors Ryan Zarya, so it could be a really interesting map in terms of playstyles.
That's right. And early on here, I believe we're going to be seeing Dive coming out from the side of Boys to Men. Very interesting, where you see on the other side the Roadhog Ball comp. Who do you think has the advantage here?
I think if Boys to Men can run this Brawl comp with Winston Diva properly, I think they can run over Green Hills' Hog Ball comp.
Very interesting. We are off! First round of the playoffs. First game for both of these teams in the playoffs here. Taking off from an early start. Boys to Men going to be moving slow, moving as a unit. There's going to be a slam in here from the Wrecking Ball of Demon Heaven. Now Hook comes in very early from Sliced Bread. Going to be picking off Ellis Rising to start this fight off. Now that's a lot of damage gone. We're going to see how they are able to respond with that right now. They're playing really cautiously. They don't really want to initiate a dive without anything. Now another hook coming from the outside. Sliced Bread hooking everyone right now. Goes dangerously low, but does find Pickley. Dr. Feelbad first, however, finds Hatchie, crucially the healer. Now the dive coming out and is successfully going to side of Boys to Men. Going to be cleaning up these kills here. Really nice engage from them despite being down 1 in the fight.
Yeah, I think they're able to do a good job of playing slow and then rushing onto like solo targets to kind of negate their early loss.
Now these hooks are going to be proving deadly, so they got to look out for those, especially the Winston is going to be wanting to dive in and do some of that damage there. The Wrecking Ball just trying to create some space. Now the hook, just like I said, coming out, but the defense matrix is there from Revernal. The EMP finds 6. Everyone EMP'd right now. Durant does find Scuba Jake, but Boys to Men utilizing their EMP to clean up this fight. XL committing the coalescence late. And this is going to be a 1 fight. 30 on the board right now for Boys to Men. Really clean win. Nice engage. Nice finish.
Yeah, it was a really good EMP to just shut that push down. And I think Boys to Men have to look to isolate this Roadhog and get him out early.
Yeah, he's finding picks early on, and Demon Heaven going to be hacked up here. Oh, it's Sliced Bread answering with a hook. What a nice hook from Sliced Bread. Going to be coming underneath, looking for something more. Now the mines are going to be dropped on point. The anti coming out right now. They're going to be trying to push in on this, despite the mines being on there. Durant finding Pickley early in the fight. Scuba Jake finding Hachi. The EMP coming out, finding 3 members of Boys to Men. Now the Diva Bomb is going to be coming out as well, and the Bob committed from the side of Green Hills. They're still stalling right now, but the point did flip over mid-fight there, crucially for Green Hills. So they're going to be getting all this percentage right now. They did have to invest a lot of ults, but it's looking like it's going to pay off for them right now. I'm curious to see how they'll utilize their ults coming up to the next fight as well, because they had to commit their EMP, Bob, and mines for that.
I think the Diva Bomb did a really good job of kind of countering the EMP and Hammond mines, but Green Hills was still able to come back and get some picks.
Sticking on this dive comp, despite this Roadhog is so deadly, but Roadhog gets hacked up.
That's
Gonna go
exactly
down
what they need to do.
instantly. Oh, Dr. Fieldpad finding the next kill into Mercy as well. Duran responding back with the kill into Exila, but Scuba Jake responding finally with the kill into Hachi as well. Ball, Demon Heaven, hacked up again. Duran trying to even out this fight the best that he can, but not going to be finding what he needs right now. Point flipped over. 48 on the board for Green Hills, 62 and counting for Boys to Men.
Yeah, and Dr. Fieldbad with another EMP. We'll see if this one's as big as the first.
I think they just need to EMP Death Blossom right now. That should win the fight pretty handedly. Alice Rising does have to use his Wraith really early. Now the slam coming in from Demon Heaven is kind of hitting. Now 5 members of the side of Green Hills going to be hacked up by the EMP. Exlale finds Damon. That's such a good kill to start this fight. Duran does respond back with a kill into Dr. Feelbad, but Scuba Jake, Hickley, Scuba Jake again with another kill. Boys to Men clean this fight up. Demon Heaven has no choice but to use these mines to try to clean up this fight, but Avernal deciding that this should end here. I don't know if they're going to be able to touch. And that's going to be the first round.
I mean, the EMP was big with hitting 5 people, and they were able to kill the one person not EMP, but they couldn't really do, they didn't focus, you know, they didn't jump in. So I think Green Hills did have an opportunity to turn that fight around. They just kind of played back and scared because they were EMP'd, and they were never able to, you know, turn around once the EMP warned off.
Yeah, they pretty much won 2 fights just off of that EMP. Like two separate EMPs.
Yep. Really well set up, I think. Especially the first one. Getting the Roadhog as he dropped, so he was completely isolated, and just denying, you know, like, they couldn't nade him, they couldn't, you know, do anything else to save him, so they were able to delete him, who's kind of the biggest threat right now. I remember words. Yeah, okay, we're gonna continue like I didn't say anything.
Great.
Okay,
so Dr. Fieldlight going to be on this Widow, going to be taking the high ground early on. Now, we're going to be seeing dives still coming up from Boys to Men, and changing it up a little bit. Demon Heaven now in the Winston on Green Hills. They're going to be taking the long rotation all around a point. Avernal trying to get some early damage there. Has to get up in their face, but going to be taken out of mech after being hooked. Now, Dr. Fieldad does find James 4K0. We're going to see how they're able to push in on this now that they have a couple of picks. Vernal going to be rezzed, but right now Green Hill is just going to be cleaning up this fight as it got very messy when that resurrection came out. So right now, all the way of Green Hills, Hickley going to be staggered out a little bit here. Vernal jumping off the map as to not feed any more alt charge to the other team. And nice fight win there. I think they really took advantage of the resurrect and making space while the other team was trying to resurrect there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for oh my god, Boys to Men, that one, to push into this Roadhog and Reaper with Diva Winston. I also don't think there's a really great target for Widow to just pick out from the backline, and she's going to be under a lot of pressure herself. So we'll see how they handle that.
Trying to contest the high ground right now. Looking like Demon Heaven trying to get up there a little bit, but both tanks from Boys to Men up there. Now the dive is initiated by Scuba Jake over here. Going to be finding Duran, but Slice Bread first finds Ellis Rising. An even fight right now at DPS for both sides. We're going to see if they're able to use the Resurrect, but Damon going to be taking a Vernal out of mech, and then Slice Bread utilizing the whole hog here to kill off Scuba Jake. Now the late coalescence to get these cleanup kills. Again, another one fight for Green Hills. They're really dominating this round so far. Very nice job.
So Dr. Feelbad going over to Ashe, I think that will give them more consistent damage output. So maybe less pick potential, but I think that's what they need right now is more damage.
Yeah, the mirror is maybe what they need. I think at this point the only difference is the Moira and Diva on the side of Boys to Men. So we have the Diva Bomb coming out. Maybe that'll be big here as soon as they can shred down this Winston
We'll
bubble.
see if Damon can get a big Death Blossom.
Oh, they don't realize he's there. Uh-oh. All eyes on Damon right now. What is Damon able to do? Damon opting not to take this. The bomb going to be dropped in the backline there. Scuba Jake finding 40k. James 40k. Ooh, but Dr. Feelbad going to be finding Duran as well. Now, only one from that Death Blossom, unfortunately. I don't think it's enough, but 97% on the board. Boys to Men needs to get on point. They're able to do so. Going to be staggering this sliced bread hog at the end of the fight, but, you know, they had to use a lot to do that, to win that, but Green Hills, that is. And now it looks like the ult advantage is going the way of Boys to Men. They're going to have to be perfect from here on out.
Yeah, so see if Else Horizon can get a big Death Blossom that Damon couldn't.
Dive being initiated early by Demon Heaven here on 2 members of Boys to Men. He's going to be using the Primal Rage to try to boop some of them off the map. It's not going to be effective where the peel is there from both tanks. Sliced Bread in the fray picks off Pickley. Avernal going to be booping Demon Heaven, but is going to be rezzed right back up. Damon finding Exile the Bobs. Both Bobs, dueling Bobs dropped on point. We'll see which Bob comes out on top. With the Green Hills Bob leaving, the Boys to Men Bob maybe going to be more effective. Avernal finding James 4K0.
Ooh.
Now the Primal Rage. Scuba Jake knocking
Great
2
move.
off the map. He
I think
finds
that
3 with that Primal Rage. It's insane. What a madman.
I think Avernal was doing work too, getting in the back line. I think she picked both Duran and James S4K, as we're calling him. A really big, I think, just plays to turn that fight around, which initially started with Pickley getting hooked and killed. So good job by Boys to Men there.
And now with the ultimates, I mean, if you take a look, really only have like 1 or 2 ultimates on Green Hills. Oh! Right now, the outside Damon is slept and then booped off by Avernal. Incredible sleep and boop off. Ellis Rising, gonna be finding 2! Both healers are down from the side of Green Hills. He finds a 3rd? Can he find another? Of course he can. He finds Duran. Exlale gonna be bringing Scuba Jake back up. And honestly, that, I think, is gonna be the game. I'm not sure that Green Hills can touch.
Nope, I don't think they have anybody fast enough.
Just like that, the round miraculously is turned around. It goes the way of Boys to Men. Such a great job there on that sleep. I'm really impressed. And here is this 2-man Death Blossom with another 2K afterwards, a 4K in total, I believe. Really nice awareness and able to find these kills.
I think both teams just look a lot more comfortable on defense. Green Hills, when they had point control and were able to set up, I think was doing a much better job. But once they had to aggress in, they were kind of getting lost, engaging a little, you know, some people were going early, some people were coming late, and it just, you know, gave Boys to Men a lot more opportunities to hit them. I think same could be said in the opposite direction. I think Boys to Men looked really strong once they had point control and were on defense, but when they were trying to attack into the that point out there in downtown, when Green Hills had control, they kind of struggled.
It's interesting because the Sombra was so effective for at least Boys to Men in the first round. I was surprised they didn't run it again, but then, you know, didn't really feel like they needed it. At least at first, maybe they did. I mean, they needed another answer, which is why I think seeing Dr. Feelbad going over to the Ash was really important to get that mirror matchup.
Yeah, I think the Sombra could have been really big. Basically, what they used it on in Mecha Base, they used it to shut down the Roadhog, who was kind of their frontline pressure. I think they could have done a similar thing there of hacking the Hog and then diving on him and killing him quickly and getting him out of the fight, and then from there just turning into a fight win. But the Ash ended up working, but I think it was a little more difficult. They did get a little lucky that Damon held off on his Death Blossom for a little bit. He had an opportunity, I think, for like, you know, 4K there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was really lucky that he wasn't able to capitalize on it for Boys to Men. Sliced Bread, so good on that Hog first round too. It's interesting to see the swap coming over.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Sliced Bread played Hog second map too.
Yes, I'm sorry. What I meant was Demon Heaven playing the ball in the first round. It's interesting to see the Winston swap over, but I guess, you know, Winston maybe was going to get more value. Surprised that Sliced Bread didn't switch off is what I meant to say. Onto something like a Diva or maybe the, you know, maybe the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah. I think Sliced Bread had got some really big, you know, early picks on Mecha Base even. They just weren't able to, you know, turn into full fight wins. I think that's partially just, you know, Roadhog's ability to control space is lacking. His pick potential is, you know, up there, but he's not great at like setting up his DBS for success like other often. I do want to call out Pickley's sleep dart on Damon there to start off that last point, and then Avernal, I think, with the heads up play of booping him off.
Great awareness and like really good response, you know.
I think that just set up that fight, you know, really well, and I think Ellis Rising he dropped at the perfect moment to get the big Death Blossom. And it was a really good fight for Boys to Men. Hope they can keep it up.
think Green Hills is trying to go to Havana, but Havana is not in the map pool. So that likely will not be happening. We an option of Route 66, Watch Point Gibraltar, and Dorado.
It's clearly Gibraltar's.
Yeah, but plural
Names.
Gibraltars.
Yes. Uh,
I mean, with the dive
Mhm.
right now, I would not want to go Gibraltar. Well, they're deciding to go Gibraltar. I mean, I think Boys to Men has done really well at
yeah, I
their
think
dive.
that's
So
yeah. In the head-to-head so far, I wouldn't have chosen Gibraltar. Probably Route 66, but I think all three have really strong high ground
yeah,
that you can set up on defense. So I think Boys to Men, is going to be set up for success in any of those three maps, assuming their dive is going to outplay Green Hills. And now we have the Boys to Men matchup. Uh,
both teams, Boys to Men to Men.
Yeah.
Boys to Men to Elders. The final evolution.
Yeah, so see if Boys to Men can play the dive just as effectively as Busan. I think Gibraltar is the dive map for what always has been.
I mean, even when dive wasn't strong, you still picked like Winston on Gibraltar. What would you say, Max, is the DPS duo that would go with that dive?
I think it matters on Gibraltar. You can really, because of long sightlines, you can play something like Ash or Widow with the dive, where your tanks are really just trying to create space for that long range hit scan to just do work. You don't need to be running Sombra and Reaper, kind of the meta once being an Overwatch League where it's really more of a brawl with mobile tanks. You can get away with more of a poke dive setup where your Winston and Diva are running around just trying to like hold people off, maintain space, and then you have a long range scan either Widow or Ash set up in the back, and then you can usually pair that with a Sombra to help that front line hold space. Get a hack on a target and kill them quickly.
So some technical difficulties here. If you're watching our stream, sorry about that. I guess might be a little bit choppy. If that is the case, then we will briefly restart. But I'm hearing from our producers that we are good. But now, Green Hills is going to be taking a quick bathroom break. So we will be back in 2 minutes. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, the exciting second map here. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a short break here, we'll be going into Watch Bright Gibraltar very soon. Excited to have you all here. This is once again the first round of the Masked Mayhem 2020 tournament between the Boys to Men and the Green Hills of Stranglethorn. Yeah, excited to have you. Busan went the way of Boys to Men right now. The series is 1-0, Boys to Men up. Max, what did you feel like was Boys to Men's biggest strength the last round?
I think they really use their ultimates well. On mecha base, they were able to win 2 fights basically off of just EMP. I think they used an extra ult or 2, but never really over investing. They did look a lot better though when defending the point. Once on a downtown, Green Hills was able to get it first, and they did struggle a little bit to flip it, letting them get all the way up to like I think 80 or 90. I forgot what. So I think with them starting on offense, I would want to see a good showing, or at least I think Green Hills they have an opportunity to kind of, get a really good defense, and then maybe try something cheesy and winning.
Yeah, I think they need to punish the dive, right? I mean, if they're gonna pick a dive map, and then they must have a plan for how they're gonna affect, how they're gonna respond to this dive to make it, less useful. Yeah. So I'm hoping they run this Roadhog again, but maybe a Roadhog Zarya, or maybe a Roadhog. Yeah. Even I could see a Roadhog Orisa. I mean, Orisa wasn't. Yeah. Orisa just buffed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think going more into the anti-dive would be that. I think that would be big for Green Hills. They kind of did that. They had like Roadhog and like Winston, Roadhog and Ball, but then their other tank, the Ball or Winston, wasn't really able to help too much when they were getting dove. So I think going all in with sticking with the Roadhog, his hook can be really great against dive. But then either going Zarya or
Torbjorn, maybe.
Yeah, Torbjorn could be really good. I think if they do have a hit scan, on Ashe or Widow that's able to, go toe to toe with Ellis Rising, I think that could be really good.
Yeah, Dr. Feelbad had a great hit scan player.
Yeah, Dr. Feelbad, that guy too. He's pretty good. I don't know. Yeah,
but also Ellis Rising. I mean, they're both really great DPS heroes. So I think if Ellis Rising wants to play this Reaper again, maybe. I mean, depending on what they're going to play, but I think a long range hit scan could go a long way. Boys to Men in attack. Gibraltar. Gonna be seeing what they're going to be bringing out any second here. Yep, just like we suspected. Going over to the dive. Dive is just so strong on this. It's difficult to want to play anything else. And a Reinhardt over on the side of Green Hills, and we have a little bit of a swap coming up. James 4KO is going to be going to tank. Previously was on that Mercy role. So we're going to see who else switches up here. Duran, okay, the healer now. I believe Duran was a DPS last round.
And Demon Heaven going to Junkrat. He played main tank the last map.
Okay. So we have a couple swaps here, so excited to see how these swaps work. This is a bit of an anti-dive comp with the Junkrat and the Zen, so see how that goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Green Hills with the Rein Zarya, but only Mercy Zen for healing.
And an interesting Mei pick here from Alice Rising. I'm interested to see how they'll utilize this.
And the BAP. I think that can be really hard sometimes with mobile targets.
Now the dive, going to be started off here from Scuba Jake. Not going to be finding much value. Has to use that bubble. Few targets burning right now. Ooh, Dr. Feelbad starting off with a pick at Demon Heaven. Nice pick from Dr. Feelbad, finding that sliced bread. Ooh, gets a little bit too big for his britches. Accidentally right-clicks himself. Pickley finding Duran, but Demon Heaven finding Pickley. Even fight right now, it would appear. Pickley being rezzed. Like Boys to Men might have this advantage with all the spawns. Scuba Jake looking to take some space up here. But going to be met with a Reinhardt, a Vernal, trying to get that Reinhardt to back off. They don't realize the Junkrat's still up there. Maybe could have gotten that stall stagger kill. Not able to do so. Taking the fight down on cart right now. Scuba Jake looking for whatever he can. Dr. Feelbad finishing Damon with a nice headshot. The jump coming in from Scuba Jake going to be killing Demon Heaven in the process. Dr. Feelbad. All picks for Dr. Feelbad right now with sliced bread. James 4KO going to be getting a charge kill late in the fight. Duran finding the mech, but first point, relatively uncontested. Boys to Men win that.
I think the big thing The big thing is in that first kind of engagement, they get some picks, but what they really get is map control, and they're able to push the cart without really having to engage the other team, which is big. I mean, Dr. Feelbad also came up with some big picks there to give them an advantage, but they also just played that really well, I think, of their tanks jumping in and then just, you know, soft engaging, coming out. Really just trying to push them back.
Now the Bob utilized here from the side of BOIS to Men with the window as well, and there's just so much damage coming out right now. Green Hills is not going to be able to push into this. That's only 2 ultimates from them, and they're going to get the second point. They absolutely destroyed Green Hills. Damon in the chat saying, GG. With plays like that, it's hard to keep morale up. Scuba Jake getting the exit kills on Duran and Sliced Bread. Vernal finding the final kill on James 4KO. This is not looking great with 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the board for BOIS to Men. And now, notoriously though, Gibraltar 3 is very hard to push into, but with Dr. Feelbad finding another pick, might be a little easier than we think. Hachi rezzing that pick up, but Pickley finding Damon in the process.
Yeah, I think if you can snowball it, it can be a lot easier. So we'll see if BOIS to Men are able to get it right here.
It's looking very positive for them right now. Scuba Jake and the back line messing with this Junkrat, unable to fight the rest of the team. Another Bob coming out from BOIS to Men, gonna be in a perfect spot to get the spawners coming out, get all the people on cart. Shatter gonna be coming out and finding 3, but the immortality is there. Right now, unfortunately, James 4KO unable to get any kind of value with that. The tire going to be coming out, doesn't find anything at all either. Now the grab going to be committed on point, but the bomb and the blizzard going to be committed. It's so big! A Vernal finding 3 with that combo is such a good combo. The emergency swap coming over into the wrecking ball right now. James 4KO doing what he can to stay on the point, but he gets booped off in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. BOIS to Men
really good attack.
Take that round in blazing fast rate.
I think that, to me, the second point was the most impressive. They used just Bob and a BAP window, which are 2 really quickly to charge ults, and they're able to win the fight off of that. And they do a really good job with their mobile tanks of taking as much space as possible as soon as they cap that point. So Green Hills is just not able to set up at all on that second point. And that's why those 2 ults are able to win the fight or cap the point, because when they actually take that first fight, it's all the way back, like within 1 fight territory. So I think BOIS to Men play that really well and utilizing their mobility.
I don't know that I've seen a faster time on this map, at least in play. As I've been playing, we don't have, like, you know, the Overwatch League as Captain Planet. I don't have Captain Planet. I can just ask, what's the fastest time? But that's a absolutely blazing fast rate. 425 on Gibraltar is insane.
Yeah, it's just they took 0.1 in like 1.5 fights, 0.2 in 1 fight, and then 0.3 in 1.5 fights. Just really well done.
Surprisingly, with so few fights, Dr. Feelbad finding 2 Bobs. Insane. Okay, well, let's see how Green Hills can answer. Coming out with the Sigma, James 4KO. We're going to be trying to put a shield into their hit scan's face a little bit. Slice bread over into this Roadhog now. An early wall coming out. Ellis Rising trying to cut some members off. Avernal going dangerously low, and Avernal is taken out of the mech. And he got a little bit too aggressive there, unfortunately. Isn't able to sustain now. Vernal has to just jump off the map instead of feeding any more. I'll charge Duran, find X-Lail, and this is not looking great right now for BOIS to Men. Gonna be frozen up. Now, Dr. Feelbad, though, does find Sliced Bread, but Demon Heaven responds really back to kill into Pickley, where James 40K and Damon cleaning up as well. Oh, Demon Heaven. What a great job cleaning
Green Hill's gonna just run the reverse back at them, win first point with 1 fight. I think Hachi had some great purple nades that gave them, you know, just insane advantages. Also, Duran with some really great boops to get people off of high ground. Although, as I say that, he ends up, you know, going a little too aggressive there. Getting picked.
Maybe feeding a little bit, but, I mean, they have the time to spare right now. Yeah. 5 minutes, 22 going into .2. Big nade right there coming out to keep the team alive. Sliced Bread finding the hook into Vernal, and then Damon responding with a kill. 2 pulse bombs That's exactly what they need to do. Damon with another. Exlail is rezzed. Maybe going to be able... Exlail uses res. Duran finding the kill onto the Baby Diva again of Vernal. And they have no choice but to keep backing up. And this is looking very bad for this point for Boys to Men. Similar to what happened to them first. Now Sliced Bread going to be getting the Nano. Using the Whole Hog. Pushing the team off the point. Sliced Bread does find Exlail. Right now Sliced Bread with another kill into Ella's Rising. Oh my goodness. When these teams come to play, they come to play. Dr. Feelbad finding the kill into Sliced Bread. Duran responding back with the kill onto the Dr. Feelbad. Vernal with the boob kill. The tire coming out right now from Demon Heaven. Let's see what he can find with that. The immortality is out. Can they break that in time? I'm not sure that they can, but they are able to. They are able to find Pickley. Now the Blizzard is used on point from Ellis Rising. Gonna stagger them a little bit right here. Make sure they can't push as effectively. Dr. Feelbad finding two, but Damon trying to finish this fight out right now with a kill into Ellis Rising. Sliced Bread coming back into the fight using this hook, but not finding it right away. Vernal trying to tank some of this damage. Has no choice but to use the bomb. A really nice remech bomb from Vernal to make sure she was still in the fight. Sliced Bread has no choice but to back out right now, and Lucio right now too. Duran also has to back out. Boys to Men finally holding. Looking so disastrous for them briefly, but able to respond back. The fight.
Ooh, big grab.
Beginning now with the grab into the window, and Dr. Feelbad with 4. My goodness, what a combo. Oh my goodness. Demon Heaven with the final kill onto Exlail, but I mean, that's just the total mayhem kill. Unreal pulse bomb, window, and graviton surge combo. Wow, I'm very impressed.
And Green Hills almost capped this second point just as fast as Boys to Men, but Boys to Men able to recover. I liked initially they stayed back and didn't recontest so that they get a clean fight on point B. But then after they lost it, three of them kind of just kept backing and just kept giving space, but not truly disengaging.
Vernal finally back and back, immediately hooked. I see his defense matrix, but unable to get out at the moment. Gonna be healed back up. Now the Rock gonna be on the Scuba Jake, where right now Sliced Bread gonna be pushing people back, but Ellis Rising and Dr. Feelbad with the crossfire in the back line, just able to find the kills that they need. Now the Nano was committed onto Sliced Bread, but Dr. Feelbad with another massive pulse bomb stuck it to the Roadhog, but he walked right back into his Ana. That's disaster. Dr. Feelbad with another. This man is on a mission.
Yeah,
the past two fights he's found like 10 kills.
I think Green Hill's front line is winning that front line war, but they're taking too long. Dr. Feelbad and Ellis Rising just on this high ground, just running around. They're able to get a lot done. I think Pickley too. Those three are just kind of rotating around back, whereas Exlail, Scuba Jake, and Vernal are kind of holding the fort for as long as they can. And Boys to Men's like backline flankers are getting it done.
Look at this. Dr. Feelbad with over 60% to another pulse bomb. Absolutely massive. He's the man to watch right now. Okay, here we go. James 4K0 with the kill onto Scuba Jake. Now the B gonna be committed as well from Duran. Gonna be keeping the team up right now. Sliced Bread with the kill onto Exlail with Damon finishing off Pickley. And it's a 2K! Maybe they're able to step back on, but no, it's too late. Vernal with the attempted last second heroics, not gonna be able to do it now. Right now they only have 2 minutes 50 seconds on the board. They're not really going to be able to get that time bank that Boys to Men have. But look, all you need to do is cap to give yourself a chance here. You're going to be getting the late stagger kills.
And another pulse bomb.
Goodness, Dr. Feelbad with another pulse bomb. I mean, he's a madman on this Tracer. Ellis Rising going to be trying to get his Zarya out of this situation. Finding Sliced Bread there. The Rock committed. James 4K0. Ellis Rising going to be starting this fight off right here with a pick onto Damon. The damage boosted soldier just too hard to deal with. Dr. Feelbad finishing off Demon Heaven. Now they just had to commit to this fight anyway. Sliced Bread getting this nano and then the bubble used from Scuba Jake. But I don't think Sliced Bread realized that. Now the perfect immortality field coming out from the side of Boys to Men. Pickley using the amplification matrix, trying to find what he can. Now it's a 3K graviton surge. Damon finding Ellis Rising, as soon as he used his tack visor, but he's going to be rezzed right back up. Right now, they're unable to push this cart very far with Dr. Feelbad all over it, not letting them push in. It's creating so much mayhem in their backline right now. Damon finally puts a stop to Dr. Feelbad's rampage. Scuba Jake in a really bad spot, expertly uses that bubble to bait the hook, get away from it. Remember, caught in the gravitic flux is going to be X-Lail, going to be going down, but luckily it spawns right here. Demon Heaven finding Scuba Jake as well, where Sliced Bread committing this whole hog, finding Pickley, going to be trying to keep them in spawn here as well. Cart's moving slowly, almost a minute on the board. Right now, Avernal trying to get this final kill right now. Avernal in Baby Diva form gets the kill into Demon Heaven. Really nice job from Avernal on that. Now they're on point, able to contest. With the spawns coming in, this is going to be really hard for Green Hills to be able to push in. Now, there is a massive anti coming out. Pickley going to be anti, but able to wear off before it does anything. Scuba Jake swapping over to this Winston, going to be taken out immediately by Sliced Bread. Now the Nano committed onto Sliced Bread, and he's going to be trying to push everyone off. Carter Vernal finding the kill onto James for KO. Pickley killing Damon, but Duran responding back with a kill into a Vernal, and Demon Heaven finding that final kill into Vernal. The whole hog being used by Sliced Bread. Maybe we get a hog 9 here. We'll see. He's going to be pushing all 3 of them off, but they're just all over him, unable to do anything. Sliced Bread could not pull out the heroics here. Duran's still alive on point. With 10 seconds left, someone's going to need to touch this cart right now. James, 4 KO. Maybe the pick that they need, but right now it doesn't look like anyone's able to touch. Maybe it was something. Oh, Tracer almost there. Boys to Men taking this with what could have almost was a very, very close close time bank. But unfortunately, Green Hills not able to cross the finish line there. Boys to Men going up 2-0 in this series. And of course, what else could this be but Dr. Feelbad? The chat of Vernal saying, who is this guy? I don't know.
It's Dr. Feelbad, Vernal. I got you.
I
know it's your teammate, and sometimes you forget who your teammates are, but it's Dr. Feelbad. Yeah, I think Boys to Men showed that they can actually play offense there. I think they looked a lot better. Of course they looked a lot better. They finished with 5 minutes almost. Not much better.
Blistering pace. Not much better, but I've done that before in Gibraltar where I cap with a bunch of time, and then the other team is able to cap with a minute, but then somehow is able to push the cart all 3 ways in that minute, and then we have to our morale is completely shot.
I think sometimes in rank it happens the team that goes second kind of figures things out, and so even though the time banks are different, they've now got the advantage. That can happen. I think that's maybe not happening here, just because these teams kind of know each other. They're practiced. They're not trying to gel together like a comp team. But I don't know. I think Green Hills is still looking really competitive. They definitely could win a map here, maybe even run it all the way back. I think Demon looked really good on the Tracer. Not quite Dr. Feelbad, but I think Dr. Feelbad maybe had just kind of a couple more flashy plays. I think Damon was still doing work. I think Green Hills was doing a really good job once they won fights of getting a lot more progress than maybe they should have off of one fight. I maybe want to see Boys to Men reset cleaner. Instead of trying to always run away, they were getting staggered because they were just getting chased down. Might want to see them just, commit to fights that are lost just so that they can, respawn and group up together and deny some cart progress.
So we're going to be taking a quick break here, about a 5-minute break. So we'll be back Eastern time, 11:18. I guess for everyone else on the West Coast, I don't know who was on the West Coast, but I guess it's going to be 8:18. So stick around. Very exciting series right now, Boys to Men Green Hills. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to the Masked Mayhem 2020 tournament. Round 1, Boys to Men versus Green Hills. Boys to Men up 2-0 in the series. I am Liam. This is Max. Happy to be here once again, going into the third map of this, Dorado. Another dive-heavy map. Going to be expecting Boys to Men to play some of that dive, some more of that dive. And we do have a swap right now. It looks like Duran, who previously was on Lucio, on Green Hills, is going to be subbed out for Daft Lore. Curious to see if they'll switch around roles again.
Very big fan of Daft Punk. Maybe their band historian.
I mean, look, one more time, man. What a great music video. What a great story.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I listen to that type of music. Yeah, so we'll see what they do.
Hey, the blue people, they were like running, they get abducted. It's pretty conceptual. It's a pretty good music video. That's what this cast is now. This cast is a Daft Punk music video cast. I will only be discussing Daft Punk music video. If it so happens to include Overwatch, so be it, but I doubt it will. Just kidding. All the viewers can come back now. Dive. Coming out from Boys to Men, it looks like. With the Reaper this time. They ran the May dive last time. It was interesting.
Yes, the classic May dive.
The classic May dive.
I think Elsewhere Rising was really doing a good job with his walls of cutting off sliced bread. So I think it definitely worked, but I think this Sombra is a little more traditional. It's got a more clear, synergy. See if they can pull it off.
Yeah, I like the Sombra pick into this, because Dr. Feelbad was doing very well in Sombra.
Yep, yeah. I bet most of his hacks are going to be going towards sliced bread. So we'll see how much fun he has this map.
Early pick, sliced bread trying to find value. Right off the bat, Xlail. Gonna be finding Daft Lore. Really not a great pick to start this off. Sliced bread does find a Vernal's mech. They do have the spawn advantage. Alice Rising hitting W right into Sliced Bread, taking him down. They have no choice but to drop off the high ground. Hachi with the pistol, killing Scuba Jake. Just a couple more of those, Hachi. You'll win this fight for sure. Hack coming out. Gonna be fighting Damon, unable to blink or recall. Luckily, not gonna be mattering too much. And now Boys to Men, slowly pushing this card in. Vernal back in mech, pushing the team off. And I think this Torbjorn's the right pick.
Mm-hmm.
A lot tougher to
I think
dive
they're really good against dive. And Sliced Bread's going over to the Zarya. So they're on Sigma Zarya now.
Now the turret going down, but the mech going out for a Vernal. Dr. Feelbad fighting Damon, and then Vernal following up with the kill into Demon Heaven. And ooh, this is a tough fight for Green Hills. They're just getting run over right now. Unfortunately, they were not able to get as much value after Damon goes down and after Demon Heaven falls early in the fight. 5 minutes, over 5 minutes going into Streets phase here. Scuba Jake poking right now. No one's taking the high ground yet. I think this fight might be determined by who takes that high ground. Has to jump out. Loses a lot of HP. Vernal going to be taking some of this damage up here. Ooh, and then the grab finding 4, or the EMP finding 4. Really nice EMP, and they're probably going to win this off of the EMP grab here. I don't think they need very much more. The Mercy here going to be going down. Hachi very low. Daft Lore switching over to the Brigitte. An interesting pick. Maybe to try to stun out that one of the divers coming in, or maybe the Reaper when Reaper's using ult. I'm not sure.
For any of those viewers confused like I am, there was no grab.
I said grab, but I meant EMP.
No, and then you said won that off the EMP grab. There was no grab.
Now Ellis Rising on this high ground here, Vernal here as well. Zoning some people off from the outside. Damon and Demon Heaven not able to really push in right now.
And a big hack.
Hack coming in at James, 4KO, gonna be taken down. There's no shield in this fight right now. Damon accidentally killing himself with the pulse bomb. Dr. Feelbad finding Daft Lore, Demon of Heaven. Gonna be finding Scuba Jake, but the rest of the team is going down very quickly. Ellis Rising with 2. It's gonna be point 2. Over 5 minutes going into point 3.
Green Hills almost could. I think they had an opportunity to turn that with the Torbjorn and Zarya still alive. So I think it was a really big death blossom to close out that point.
Damon swapping over to the Sombra, hacking up Xlail. Not able to find anything on that. Pickley finding the early kill into Daft Lore, this Brigida. That's half the heals gone, but gonna be a tough to push into this still with the spawn advantage. Now the EMP coming out, finding a James 4KO as he was using his Sigma ult. Scuba Jake finishing off Demon of Heaven. Now the bomb coming out, maybe it could just be a zoning bomb right now. Pickley finding Damon, and then Dr. Feelbad finding Daflor as well. Daflor's been dead a lot in this game. That's very unfortunate for him. Just diving on him so much. Now the Molten Core coming out, finding Scuba Jake. The Graviton Surge, for real this time, committed onto Carp, but not going to be enough. No one's able to touch, and it's the end of round 1. 4 minutes, 16 seconds on the board.
I think
BOIS in firm control.
They're just doing a really good job of controlling space, making these fights happen further back than I think Green Hills really wants. It gives them just a lot more free cart progress. They need to win less fights to actually get through each of these phases.
Very nice job. I think these EMPs have just been the game changers.
Yeah, I think that the EMPs have been really impactful. I think if your team is working around your Sombra correctly, you can really just win fights off of EMP alone. You don't really need too much other follow-up. I think they've been generally investing like Coalescence, which is, is a very fast hazarding ult, so it's not too much. You don't need to have, EMP shatters, EMP like Diva Bomb. If your team is ready to engage, those couple of seconds where you just can't use abilities is enough to completely, win a fight.
And I think Dive is so good on this map as well that, on Streets phase at least, I mean, you get this high ground, it's pretty much over if you have a dive composition.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're doing a really good job of setting up high ground when they have those opportunities, denying high ground from Green Hills.
Now here's a new look, Dr. Feelbad on the Pharah. Projectile, we usually see him over on the hit scan characters, but interesting to see Ellis Rising over onto a hit scan himself. With the Zarya Diva composition, of the classic Zarya Diva.
They made it work on Gibraltar on defense, so I think they can do it again.
Ooh, Dr. Feelbad. Damage boosted rocket finding Demon of Heaven. With the hook now, Dr. Feelbad going down. Disastrous for Dr. Feelbad as he has to walk all the way from spawn. Xlail is unable to get that resurrect off. They have to get off high ground right now to try to stall some of this card. Ellis Rising still on, trying to put in some damage. Hook going to be used, not finding anything. James 4KO now on the Hog instead of Sliced Bread. Now they have to back off a little bit until their heavy damage dealer comes back. And as I say that, Dr. Feelbad back in this fight, pumping all of the damage in right now. James 4KO getting very aggressive, but is pushed off by a Vernal. Ellis Rising going to be using this tactical visor in the backline, finding Damon. Oh, Dr. Feelbad committing the grab. Oh my goodness, everything's a grab. Going to be committing the barrage.
I think overlapping.
I'm just so used to alts overlapping with each other that grab barrage just is so ingrained for me.
I think that maybe a little bit of an overinvestment with both, DPS ults. I think, Tac Visor usually is a kind of low value ult, but against, no shield, it can be really big. So using both Barrage and Tac Visor might have been a little bit of an overinvestment. Ooh, and a big grab, but better.
3 or 4 members with the anti-nade coming out with a massive anti-nade from Hachi. Incredible anti-nade. Now, Green Hills is finally going to be able to push into this. Ellis Rising is still alive. Maybe he'll be able to make it out. It is unlikely in my opinion, but they haven't pushed him quite yet. Now the Pharah and Baptiste going to be trying to get out as well, and they have all the heals they need. Might be a re-engage coming out from BOIS at this point. Of Vernal almost back in this fight. Hog using the hook. The window being used, but someone has to touch the point. No one's able to touch the point. Oh no, that is as close to a C9 as you can come. Dr. Feelbad using this barrage, but doesn't matter much as the point's already gone over to Green Hills. Maybe they're trying to do a spawn camp at this point.
What did I get?
Damon swapping over to this McCree now, trying to deal with this Pharah Mercy. With Demon Heaven as well, with that hit scan pressure. Maybe trying to take the Pharah Mercy down. Getting a lot of value still though. Dr. Feelbad 60% to another barrage. Ellis Rising using the attack visor in their spawn. Talk about the disrespect. Just to try to get out. Finds 2 with that. Damon. Let's find a Vernal's mech late in that fight too, but
I think that could be
assuming
big.
a Vernal is able to get back in, that's not gonna matter.
I still think they need to back up now. Without that front line, they can't hold this far forward. They really want to. They unfortunately can't get all the way to high ground, with only a Vernal really being able to fly up there, but without a mech, they can't do it.
As you said that, they're going to be backing up, and then the flank over here, we see Demon Heaven trying the aggressive tack visor, but Ellis Rising saying, "No, thank you, none of that today." Dr. Feelbad using that barrage once again, 3rd or 4th barrage this round, finding Damon. Right now, Boys to Men in control of this with James 4KO. Taking out a mech. Maybe going to be staggered here as well. Nope. Decided to get that kill right away. Committing that barrage essentially whenever Dr. Feelbad has it. I mean, they're just getting so much value on that. Every fight, 1 or 2 barrage picks. 15% now to a barrage, but you see that Graviton Surge come online and shoot into a few times. You have your barrage again. Alt's coming out for Green Hills, though. I mean, the ult advantage right now, in theory, should go the way of Green Hills. See, they utilize that, but this high ground is going to be tough to get a lot of these picks here. James 4KO switching over to the Diva. Seeing what he can do on that. The barrage just hammering into that backline right now. I mean, already to 71%. The massive barrage fending 4 or 5 members of Green Hills, unable to follow up on that right now. Now the Graviton Surge is used, but it doesn't find anyone except for Dr. Feelbad, who gets the Immortality Field, is able to get out of that alive. Does have the barrage, looking to use it, but it's taken down. Does get to keep it, but see how they use that in the next fight. Dr. Feelbad is brought back up and barrages directly into the face of Sliced Bread. Gets the kill, but immediately goes down. Boys to Men, though, winning this fight.
Also, for any of those confused, Liam did say barrage when he meant grab there. It's been a rough day. Those are 2 very similar ults. We all understand.
Are together all the time, so that's probably why I'm flubbing those. So, ult advantage now going over to Boys to Men. Looks like Green Hills had to commit quite a bit for that fight. Didn't get anything out of it. Only 60 seconds left. Sliced Bread pushing in right now. Vernal going low, has to boost out of there. In the back line, Ellis Rising trying to find a pick, is going to be finding Demon Heaven with the tactical visor in the back, and there's so much pressure right now. Damon trying to find something with this high noon, unable to do so. Right now, Dr. Feelbad coming back in this Doomfist. Yet another look from Dr. Feelbad. This guy can play everything. He does go down to Damon. Maybe this is the opportunity they need. Both support ults from Boys to Men going to be lapped over each other right now. But Scuba Jake is such a high charge Zarya. Maybe he's able to...
and the flanking Mercy now in the backline. Oh, doesn't get anything.
Taken down. Hachi on point right now alone, and it's only the DPS and 1 support here. The bomb going to be used. It's a little bit too far back, so it's not going to be finding anything right now. Coming back into the fight very slowly. Hachi somehow still alive. I guess both healers are just pocketing each other. James, 4KO, bombing, finding Dr. Feelbad way in the back line. Maybe too aggressive. The Graviton Surge coming out. Going to be finding 3 members. Now the reverse Graviton Surge coming out, finding James 4KO. Pickley, rezzed up in this fight. It is still overtime. James 4KO, the baby diva on point, trying to live. Overtime ticks away. Boys to Men, winning this game 3-0.
I think that was a really big res there by Xlail. They were purple and about 25 health, standing right next to, I forget who, but basically their own grab. And they were able to survive and get the res off.
Here's this tack visor, the BM tack visor in their back line. Look at that barrage, 84% again. Great job from Boys to Men, really controlling the pace of that game. Who is your player of the game?
I think it's got to be Dr. Feelbad.
Yeah.
Really standout performance on all 3 maps. You know, the Tracer just however many pulse bombs they were able to get pulse bomb kills, just ridiculous. That Pharah play was amazing on their defense there, and I think the Sombra play was really big when they ran that. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't just have Dr. Feelbad run Sombra the entire time.
Yeah.
A really really strong hero, you know, can shut down, you know, everybody's abilities. I think it was really big on their defenses or their attacks, I guess, where they ran it.
Yeah, Dr. Feelbad coming up with all the picks that Boys to Men need. Great job from Boys to Men, and they will be moving on to the next round. Very nice game, and Green Hills moving down to the losers bracket, seeing who they'll take on a little bit later. So that'll do it for us tonight in the Masked Mayhem 2020 tournament. I have been Liam, and this has been Max. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.